Hello and welcome to the Hornets and Heartbreak podcast. My name is Mark Bernanke and I'm here with my co-host Tim Rogers. What's up, Tim?
What it do, Liquor Mark?
I'm doing pretty well, man. The Hornets had a massive win last night against the Portland Trail Blazers in Portland. We were down by 19 at some point in the second quarter, fought our way back, got the win on the road barely by five, I think, there at the end. Um, and just felt like a game that the Hornets of 2025 or any time in the past 4 years would have lost for sure. But with this team, you can't ever count them out, and very good resilience shown by this team last night with some hot shooting by the Trailblazers. We were able to fight our way back and get the win.
Yeah, I don't. Mark, I got to be honest, man. Kind of got spoiled with all those blowouts. Uh, kind of forgot what it was like to be out there in the trenches, man. But yeah, I think that's a good point. Definitely, pretty much every other Hornets team of the LaMelo era probably would have just folded in this one.
Yeah, and we did not. So I mean, down the stretch, the Hornets were, I think, yeah, up by one, with about 30 seconds to play. Con Knipple gets fouled, shooting a three-pointer. But the Trailblazers challenge it, and we're in review mode for like 3 minutes. And eventually they decide to overturn the foul on Con Knipple. So it goes to a jump ball, right? The Trailblazers win the jump ball uh, and have the ball with 30 seconds left, down by one. Ball finds Jeremy Grant in the corner, who pump fakes, drives past Brandon Miller. And who's there, Tim, to jump in front of Jeremy Grant on this drive? Con Knipple draws the offensive foul. Hornets get the ball back, make two free throws. The Trailblazers turn it over on the inbounds, and that was it. That was the end of the game. So yeah, Con Knipple, I mean, I think is like sort of a stabilizing player in moments like this, right? Where, okay, he ended up not getting the foul call on the three-point shot, but he just kind of keeps the Hornets steady and makes just small winning plays like that. So yeah, player of the game. Shout out to Con Knipple. I would give him that award for last night.
Yeah, I think with that, he earned player of the game, and honestly, I just kind of, obviously the same Hornets podcast, but kind of just felt for Blazers fans last night. Is, someone that's been on the other side of that loss so many times. It's like, oh man, once you get that challenge, you think you're probably good to go. And then to blow it in heartbreaking fashion like that. But yeah, shout out to Khan. It's just been said a million times by a million people, but guy just kind of looks like he's played in the NBA for 6 years already.
Yep. He was 4 for 8 from three last night. Brandon Miller also had a pretty good game. LaMelo did not have a very good game. We're gonna talk about that a little bit later. But okay, we like talked a bunch of shit about Scoot Henderson last game that we played them. So I mean, he was actually very, very good. 5 for 8 from three, 17 points in only 19 minutes. Still had four turnovers, but he kind of showed us the other side of Scoot Henderson. And then I thought Denny Avdia was awesome in that game. And Jeremy Grant was like, oh shit, he's still good too, I guess. Yeah.
Is Jeremy Grant kind of the most innocuous, forgotten man in the NBA for like an
Y-
actually good player?
Yeah, probably. Probably.
Um, yeah, so I hear what you're saying, Mark, and I agree. Let's trade Brandon Miller for Scoot Henderson.
No, 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 no.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
just kidding. But yeah, no, honestly, good, good for Denny. Um, good for him for leaving the Wizards. I know he got traded for like Malcolm Brogdon. Um, but yeah, no, it was really turned into like I think we did that was the first time we ever did like, draft takes or anything was for the Denny draft. You see this one coming, Mark?
No, 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 no. Also, shout out to that class. Just like a very good draft class. Except for James Wiseman. I mean, there's a ton of hits. Tyrese Maxey, Denny Avdia, LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards, Tyrese Halliburton. I'm probably forgetting somebody pretty big. But yeah, that's a lot
Killian
of
Hayes.
really good players.
Yeah, definitely sleeping on your guy. You're the French phenom, Killian Hayes. Um, did turn into a good draft class, and just quick aside on Killian Hayes. Uh, Worst gambling story I've ever heard. I've met someone recently that put $1,500 on Killian Hayes over in his rookie year. So it was quite alarmed by that. But yeah, shout out to that draft class.
Yeah, okay. So the Hornets in the past uh, week, we had a rout against the Celtics. Finally lost a game against the Heat that was close, where the Heat had hot shooting. Lost a game against the Suns, where the Hornets were just kind of inept in the second half on offense, and then we beat the Trailblazers. So we're 2-2 in the last four games, which is kind of met him. But I mean, when I talked to you 2 weeks ago, I said, "Can the Hornets be 500 in 2 weeks?" And here we are. We're at 500 2 weeks later, 5-2 over the last 2 weeks. If I had told you that 2 weeks ago, we would have said that's a good outcome. But the problem is that the rest of our division is also winning a ton of games. The Miami Heat have won 6 in a row, 8-2 in the last 10. The Orlando Magic have won 4 in a row, 7-3 in the last 10. And the Atlanta Hawks have won 7 in a row and are 8-2 in the last 10. Tim, that is 17 wins in a row for the three teams ahead of us in our division. And the Hornets are, doing pretty well. We're 7-3 in our last 10, but it's not enough. We're still a game and a half back of the Atlanta Hawks in the play-in race. We're the 10 seed and we're the 10 seed comfortably, but this vision or this dream of moving up to the 6 seed, I think is kind of out at this point.
Yeah, I don't know about you, Mark. Um, now that I've really tasted happiness and see what it looks like, it really sucks to go 2-2. Um, like this is like an eternal sunshine situation where I'm like, I don't know if my brain was meant to like feel this good. And to be on the other side of things, yeah, like the Atlanta Hawks going 7-0. When I hear that, I'm just like, God, that is so fake, like bogus, not a good team. Now, when the Hornets do something like that, I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, that makes sense. They're a great team. Yeah, so it's not really that fun to be on the other side of things, Mark.
Yeah, no, it's not. I mean, I think getting to the 8th seed is like still kind of in play, right? Which is really important because if you get to that 8th seed, then you have two chances. You just got to win one of two games to make it to the playoffs. If you're in the 10 seed or the 9 seed, then you got to win two games in a row, right? To make it to the playoffs, which is really, really hard to do. But looking at the Hornets' schedule, I'm not gonna lie, it looks pretty tough. We got Sacramento, Memphis, Sacramento again in Brooklyn and Indiana. Those are our only easy games. Outside of that, we have Miami, San Antonio, Orlando, New York, Philadelphia, Boston, Phoenix, Indiana, or sorry, Minnesota, Boston, Detroit, New York again. Like we have a lot of hard games remaining on our schedule and kind of only five easy ones. The rest of them are against playoff teams. So yeah, it's not looking great for us, in terms of our ability to actually move up to that 8 seed. Where I think like 2 weeks ago or a week ago, it seemed like, yeah, of course the Hornets will move up to the 8 seed. Like there's no doubt.
Yeah, and I had also kind of mentally prepared for like the last month where I was like, okay, well, like, maybe those last two games of the season, because it's against the Celtics and the Pistons, I was like, well, like seeding might already be locked up by then. Like that could just kind of be a layup. And now Jason Tatum is back. Obviously, the Celtics have been pumping up. So two games that I kind of penciled in as potential gimmies, also looking a lot tougher now. So not great, Mark.
No, yeah, and I mean we got to talk about the Heat real quick. Bam Adebayo, second highest scoring game in NBA history, 83 points. I have not seen the highlights yet. I'm in Serbia, so I wasn't watching last night. Because it was on late. I need to watch them. Tim, it to me feels more like it's probably about the Wizards just being ass than it is about Bam having an amazing game, but it's probably obviously both.
Yeah, it almost makes me question if I like basketball. 83 points. Could you imagine any other player in NBA history where you woke up to the news that player broke Kobe's record, and you're like, nah, I'll catch those highlights later. Only Bam. Like, that's absolutely absurd. Not even as a Heat hater. One thing I am starting to come around on, Mark, I think maybe we should have drafted Bam over Malik Monk. Still kind of on the fence about that one. But yeah, kind of, I would say the most ridiculous stat line I've ever seen in my life. 43 free throw attempts. And like, Bam is nerdiest thing I can say in the world. He is on my fantasy basketball team. We are in the playoffs. And even then, I'm just like, not like this. I don't really want this.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's kind of just disgusting, right? That that's possible for a player like Bam Adebayo, who's not an offensive like, you know, that's not really his game. His game is more of a defensive guy. That's what's got him to like all-star status is more of his defense. Um,
I
so
think I
yeah, I kind of hate it. I hate it also.
Yeah, I think he's only scored 30 or more, like 13 times or 16 times in his career. Uh, got to catch him live on Friday, and at no point was I like, this is the guy that's going to break Kobe's record. Um, yeah, no, just absolutely, again, just absurd, Mark.
For
And
sure.
yeah, yeah, I just kind of at a loss for words that it was Bam of all people.
All right. Well, yeah, we'll keep you guys posted on this little standings watch. Shout out to the East just being good. This happened to us also, Tim, like 4 years ago when the Hornets were the 10 seed for 2 years in a row, but specifically in that 21-22 season where we are 43 and 39. We are the 10 seed with a 4 games over 500 record. And it seems like something similar could happen again this year where the Hornets could end up end of the season something like, 44 and 38 and be the 9 seed the way things are playing out. But I do think it's possible that we definitely catch the Hawks, that we catch the 76ers, that we maybe even catch the Magic. Depending on the way things shake out. But yeah, we need these teams to start losing, and that hasn't happened recently. Okay, moving on, Tim. So we wanted to talk today, given that we were 2-2 in the last four, and we had to plan this podcast before the Trailblazers game. We wanted to get a little negative,
Yeah.
and just just kind of bring us back down to earth a little bit. Because we've had very excited and happy podcasts for the first three podcasts. 5 reasons why we lost 2 games. Tim, you want to start us off? Do you have anything?
Um, Yeah, I'm gonna go out and say it. In attendance, Friday night had a good time for the Heat game. Thought Charles Lee kind of blew that game.
Whoa. Okay, wait. Why?
Mainly just on rotations. Um, I thought he kept in Coby White too long. I thought he didn't put Moose back in enough. I thought that he got a little too comfortable with that bench lineup and kind of seemed like he was coaching with a lack of urgency in the fourth quarter specifically.
Interesting. Yeah, the Heat game, it feels like it was like a while ago for me, so I can't exactly remember his rotations in the fourth quarter. But I can kind of piggyback off of that one where I had one reason why we lost the past few games, and that's are we sure that Coby White is better than Collin Sexton? And this is a hot take that I've had brewing, Tim, since pretty much we traded for him.
Yeah,
And everyone is like, wow, like the Hornets stole Coby White at the deadline, and I get it. That's probably true. But so far, Coby White has not been better than Collin Sexton. And I have their stats on the Hornets pulled up here. Coby White, first of all, played in only 6 games. He's been injured. He didn't play last night against the Trailblazers. Collin Sexton was pretty reliably healthy. And Coby White's not playing back-to-backs, only playing 18 minutes per game. So that's just a baseline thing. And then secondarily, field goal percentage. Coby White, 40% on the Hornets, 29% from three. He is getting to the line a lot. the most on the team actually per game, 3.8. That is a point in his favor. But guess what? Collin Sexton got to the line 3.7 times per game. So he was also very good at that. Coby White, assists per game, only four. Collin Sexton had 3.7, but Coby White, it feels like at times can get a little bit of blinders on, and he's missed Con Knipple like five too many times for me personally. Um, and yeah, Collin Sexton was just like a better 3-point shooter, a better scorer at the rim actually than Coby White has been so far. And I just want to kind of dampen the like, we can be excited about a lot of things that are going on right now. Coby White is probably not one of them. He's not been very good in his debut for the Hornets. He could definitely improve and he could make this take look stupid in 10 games. But so far, I don't think he's been some sort of like amazing addition to the team.
Is it a coincidence we won without him last night, Mark? Just go ahead and say it. Had your knives out for him the whole time. But yeah, I have to say, as someone who was like super pumped, uh, you know, when we got Coby White, hasn't really been like the most fun. He definitely can get to the rim and split double teams and everything, but outside of that, yeah, I don't know. I'm still chalking it up to like it's getting used to a new team, but like doesn't really seem like there's that much to get used to when the only thing you do is drive and don't pass. So what is there really to adapt to? That's a little harsh, but yeah, haven't loved the experience so far, Mark. And you did call it day one when he was traded. We're like, man, is he really better than Collin Sexton?
Yeah, privately, I've had this take since like 2020. I mean, I don't know. It's been brewing for a long time. Yeah, yeah. And I am gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. Like there is some sort of adjustment period, and I've learned in my time podcasting that 6 games is not enough of a sample size to make any sort of judgments on a player. But yeah, let's just Hornets fans, you can be like, there's a lot to be optimistic about. And maybe don't talk about like how Coby White's some amazing player because that's not been true so far. And I mean, shout out to Colin Sexton, bro. He was pretty good for us. I think that there's something to be said about like, don't mess up the chemistry, don't mess up the good thing that's going on. If Coby White's gonna just like walk at the end of this year, I'm not sure that that was a great move.
Yeah, but I see where they're going at least. Where like if you do just think he's a better player and you think the team truly has juice, then make that move. In Jeff, we trust.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, so far, you know, I don't know. It'd be interesting if this was Jordan era Hornets. Would we be just like, it's just because he's the UNC guy? Um, which I don't think is actually accurate. But I feel like he's kind of due for, as you said, 29% from three. Don't think that's going to be the case forever. Um, I'd like to see him turn it around. And I think if things do end up working out, he does add something to the team that we needed. Because in my heart, I do believe he's better than Collin Sexton. But again, 6 games, not yet.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Cool. Hopefully the listeners didn't turn off the podcast already after hearing that. Uh, I just been disparaging Kobe White. I hope he plays better. I hope that we get some more quality minutes out of Kobe White. And like I said, it's also just the injuries. Like he just didn't play last night for load management. And Sexton didn't have that problem. So, anyways, uh, I got another one for us, Tim. Miles Bridges. He is 14 of 42 in the last three. That is 33% from the field. He is 1 of 13 from the 3-point line in the last 3 games.
Mm.
Uh, so last night, especially in that third quarter, as you texted me, Tim, he was struggling to find his offense. And I have some stats for us that I think can kind of explain this. So in 2025, he averaged 16.2 shots per game, 20 points per game on 16 shots per game, and 43% from the field. Now in 2026, that is those numbers are down. He's shooting only 11.8 shots per game. That is 4.5 shots less per game. He's averaging 14.5 points per game. That's down 5.5 points per game. But he's more efficient. He's 45.3% from the field. And I think that as teams are kind of prepping for the Hornets more, and as frankly, we're just getting like teams' best efforts, it seems like now against the Hornets. Like they're like, oh shit, this team's hot. Everybody's talking about the Hornets. We got to play better. They're kind of guarding our big three in a way that's way better or way more intense. And sometimes we need Bridges to kind of step up a little bit, but it's very hard to go from, role player, which is what he's been playing for us in 2026 to like, I need to go get some buckets because Con and Brandon are being, double teamed every time they get the ball. And I think that he's kind of struggling in that in between where he is our fourth option, but sometimes we need him to be our second option. And yeah, last night against the Blazers, I think that was on display. It's hard to go from just not getting the ball to all of a sudden you're being asked to do everything.
Yeah, I think that's a kind way to put it, and I think you're definitely right about them zoning in on the big three. Like what I always think of as like a fan is like if I was rooting against my team, like what would I want them to do? And it would definitely be for Miles Bridges to take 20 shots in a game. He was really bad last night. He was kind of just not, just as I said, just floating through these last couple games. And I do think there's kind of a reason why, like, part of it is role and everything like that. He's just not like a super scalable player unless, even with good spacing, there's only so much Miles can really do, especially if the shot has abandoned him, because he's not just going to post somebody up and draw fouls, or he's not just going to like electric enough to get to the rim. He's just kind of a player that's in no man's land.
Mhm. Mhm. And I feel like for the most part on this winning streak, he has been like pretty damn good. Um, I think that just his cold shooting nights kind of like stand out because it's bricking like 5 foot hook shots. Like it's like he's wide open from three, but like I said, he hasn't gotten the ball for 2 minutes, so he clanks it off the rim. Um, yeah, and his bad nights just kind of stand out. Last night was definitely one of them. What else
Yeah.
you got, Tim?
Um, for that, and not that it's entirely, yeah, kind of is his fault. Outside of the Celtics game, Lamelo's been pretty meh. Even like the Dallas game, poor shooting, but like last night, what did he have? Four fouls relatively early.
He
Just kind
fouled
of like,
out.
yeah. But like the four, I bring up the four fouls just because it seemed like it impacted his minutes a little bit and the flow. So like maybe give him a pass on that, but just hasn't really knocked my socks off outside of the Celtics game in the last like 10 days.
For sure. I had this too. I mean, it's the duality of the LaMelo Ball experience, right? Where against the Celtics, he's hitting fadeaway, one-legged, 40-foot three-pointers. And then against the Trailblazers, he's airballing floaters. And he's getting 6 fouls. Just goofy shit, to be honest. Like, this is why I have a coworker who says LaMelo Ball is not a serious basketball player. And he still gets that from. I mean, feels like the national media is just bandwagon fans. I mean, people are saying that, and it's still like kind of true. He still just is very hot and cold. Like I thought that last night's game was sort of a perfect example of like why he's not there yet in terms of like all NBA player.
Yeah, not yeah. I mean that's just an absolute dud stinker of a game. That was out of there. I would
He was good in the fourth quarter. But that was it. The first 3 quarters he was awful.
yeah. And not comparing him to this actual player, because I know we already established that they're better than the 17 Warriors. Um, I remember in regards to Steph not winning those, the finals MVPs, the first three championships, pretty much because he would have like one just stinker shooting night per series, whether it's like the 5 for 21, stuff like that. Nate Duncan made the point in, like talking about like why is Steph kind of left out of like the LeBron KD conversation at times, just because the bad games look so bad when the shot is not falling. And LaMelo has that as well. Like, obviously, shooting is not the only thing that he does, but he's not going to get to the line 8 times in a game where it's not falling. Um, so, when he is really just, not hitting his shots, the games, it just looks especially challenging for him in a way that, it's not that case for obviously Anthony Edwards, is just a better player. But even like a Tyrese Halliburton, you know?
Hmm. And actually, Halliburton can have some. I mean, can have some stinkers too, for sure. Um, like I think they're kind of similar players in that way. But I know exactly what you're saying. Like LaMelo's offense is so predicated on three pointers. Uh, it's so predicated on him having like a decent shooting night that if he's not, it just goes very bad very quickly. And he needs to find ways to contribute to the game when he's having off nights. And I say that, and of course, I think he does. Like he does have that passing ability, he does have that playmaking ability. But one thing I also noted was that in the last 4 games, he has 4 assists, 6 assists, 5 assists, 4 assists. Like that's not good enough. He needs to be finding other people way more than that for us to be if we want to make the playoffs and win a playoff series.
Yeah, especially, feel like we've been very, very kind, talking about the subtlety of LaMelo's game. And yeah, like it's not just shooting, but it's like, yeah, man, I wouldn't really mind, like, you got a 27 and 12 in you anywhere, buddy?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so one more thing I had for us and reasons why we lost, and I've already kind of mentioned it. I do just think that we are getting teams like best efforts now when we face them. So against the Heat, Tyler Hero was on fire. I don't know if he's had that good of a game all season. Jaime Jaquez made like 3 threes, and he's not a good 3-point shooter. Against the Trailblazers, like I definitely feel like that was the case last night where they came out wanting to give it their best effort. We were down by 19 in that game. Scoot Henderson randomly made 5 threes, like Scoot's like third best game of his career. Uh, little shots fired. And Scoot Henderson here for no reason. Yeah, and I mean the Suns too. These teams just the only team that didn't get the memo was the Celtics. It feels like the teams after the Celtics were like, oh shit, we saw what the Hornets did to the Celtics. We gotta take them seriously.
Yeah, much like becoming an adult, it's like, man, it sucks to, that you have higher standards now. Um, It's like, yeah, man, we're not just like sneaking up on teams. The Heat game, I especially felt like, people in my office were like, "Oh man, should I bet?" And I was like, "No, just never bet on a Heat game. Like, never know what Eric Spoelstra's going to do." And they just have our number, which we play them here coming up again, and they just terrify me. But yeah, the Blazers, that's a great point. Yeah, no more just sneaking up on teams. It was fun while it lasted, though.
Yeah, man. It was. Okay. Your next question, Tim, that you had for me was, would you rather win the lottery or win a first round playoff series? And I don't even really have an answer for this question yet. So I'm gonna let you go first.
you know, I feel like for the first couple of years of the podcast, I would have said, let's think long term. Let's do that. Wrong. Win that first round playoff series. All right, Steven Jackson is my favorite player of all time, and part of that is the fact that they upset the Mavericks in 2007. Um, that lasts forever, and it doesn't say only one playoff series, but yeah, man, I can't believe it. But at this point, who cares? Who knows what's going to happen next year? If we get the first pick and LaMelo's hurt, doesn't really matter. Let's just ride this hypothetical.
Um, I like that answer as well. The nerd in me wants to win the lottery, and then we'll have years of success to come. But if you think about it, like winning a first round playoff series probably entails beating the Pistons or the Celtics because we're going to be a playoff playing team. And like the the sweetness of either of those, right? Especially beating the Celtics. So if it's beating the Celtics, I'll take win the first round playoff series. Uh, if it's beating the Pistons, I'll take or anybody else, I'll take the winning the lottery. How about that for an answer?
Yeah, I was leaning that way as well. God, dude. I mean, you know what? Let's dare to dream. We just crapped on the team for 10 minutes. Oh my God, yeah, dude. Beating the Celtics in round one with Jason Tatum there. God. I mean, that would definitely be de facto, no question, best moment in franchise history.
I mean, yeah, definitely. It definitely would. I mean, was the best moment in franchise history the win against the Celtics
That's
from
that's
last
exactly what I was
week?
thinking. I was like, Glenn Rice breaking the All Star game points in a quarter record. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, no, obviously we were not me and Tim are 28 years old. We were not around for the 90s Hornets, but yeah, they didn't win their division either. So can't have been that good. No, I'm just kidding.
What's Alonzo Mourning done recently?
Oh my God. Okay. So Tim, that's all I had for us for today. I got some takes on the Hornets draft that I'll save for next week because I think you got to get to work. But what you got for Media Corner?
Ah, Mark, you'll be able to relate to this. It's a movie called La Chimera, um, and it is about an Englishman played by Josh O'Connor, who is just kind of out in the shits in Italy. Quite frankly, he's an archaeologist, and falls in with a rough crowd. Maybe falls in love. Maybe gets into some trouble. But it's an absolutely stunning movie, one of the most beautiful movies of the 2020s, and I highly recommend it to anyone out there. Is in Italian for a large portion of it.
Okay, I have MJ Lenderman, Tim. Your
Woo!
recommendation. Yeah. So I was going to ACL Music Festival in Austin, Texas, in October, and I was like literally in line, and I was like, I don't know any of these artists, so I'm gonna text Tim and see what he says I should go to. And you sent me a bunch of people to check out, but you said the MJ Lenderman was like a must see. And I went, and it was really, really good. It's probably my favorite show. It definitely was my favorite show I saw at ACL. And yeah, ever since then, just been listening to him. Asheville, NC, native, North Carolina. Check it out. Music is little bit of what would you describe them as, Tim?
I would say that he's in the like alt rock, you know, indie country that's really been popping up, like the Waxahachis of the world who we played guitar on. But yeah, honestly, that whole Asheville contingent, who I think they were all in the grade, and shout out to our listener Cade, who actually recommended it. But yeah, MJ Lenderman, Wednesday, Indigo D'Souza, bunch of really great artists coming out of Asheville, and all lined up with our age. So maybe that's part of the reason as well.
Yeah, I'm traveling right now, Tim, and sometimes there's like noise around where I'm staying. And so my move to fall asleep is to throw in the AirPods, put on some like noise canceling, and throw right back to it on, and I'll fall asleep immediately.
Ah, man, doesn't that just make you go? That's beautiful. So you've been doing some traveling, Mark.
Yes. Yeah, and actually I'm digital nomading. Sorry to use that word. But yeah, that's what I'm doing in Europe. And right now I'm in Serbia. I mentioned that earlier. Kind of a basketball haven, if you will, here. I got here, got in the taxi, and the taxi driver's like, "Oh, you're from the US? You like Jokic?" And I'm like, "Yep, that's kind of why I'm here." Uh, and I was like, "Where can I play pickup?" And he laughed and he was like, "Anywhere." Like anywhere you want. You can go play pickup at any park. Yesterday I checked out this like fortress that has a basketball court, multiple basketball courts actually. And on Friday, I'm going to a EuroLeague game between Red Star and a team from Istanbul that I cannot pronounce. So very excited for that. Serbian games are notoriously very, very like loud and very good fans. And really, the big game is there are two teams from Belgrade that are Red Star and Partizan. And you either like Red Star or you like Partizan, and like they don't mess with each other. Uh, that game is apparently crazy. But the game I'm going to is a solid runner up because the Istanbul team is number one in EuroLeague right now.
I like it. That's real hoops right there, Mark.
Yeah, man. And also shout out to Armando Bacot, the center from UNC, is just the center on this Istanbul team.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, that's awesome. Well, I hope the game is good. I hope that you don't get knocked with a beer bottle or anything. Honestly, for the pod, kind of worth it. Get in a fight, Mark. It's already three and a
No,
half.
no, 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 no. No, but I will be scouting. I will be scouting for like T. John Salon's replacement. Sorry, T. John.
Oh man, we just whew, glad we didn't go a whole episode with shitting on that guy.
All right, Tim. It's been real.
You be safe out there, Liquor Mark.
Peace.
Peace.